I'm becoming. I am becoming. It's been a long time coming, and I like to say this to people. Even when you become, there's room to become more, which is what the book is about. The book doesn't have a finite end. There's no, do you know what I mean? It's a journey, so you never know what happens next. But we're all alive and hopeful, and hoping that, you know, things will definitely we'll find ourselves in this journey. So I'm on a journey. I'm becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be. I'm working in my, just walking in my purpose, working, realizing that, there's more to life and your experiences are a part of you. So I'm really excited about my journey. It's been bittersweet, but it's most importantly exciting. A lot of work went into the book and, the process, just even thinking about the last 1 year and a half and how it's been a lot of work. So I am really excited at, the response out there. I'm really grateful. I feel really blessed. It just goes to show that, things are changing. People are now okay with talking about certain things that, 5, 6, 7 years back, people would have shied away from. So it was a lot of work, so I'm happy that the work did not go to waste. A whole year and a half. The process of writing about 9 months to 10 months, and then the process of working on the book itself and getting it ready was maybe another 5, 6 months. So, yeah. Well, I'm not really focused on the backlash, but, as I always say to people, you cannot take the good without the bad. Like, that's life. It's a very selfish thing to do if you decide to dwell only on the good stuff. In happy times, you're excited, you celebrate. And even, the not so great times, it's also, I don't really dwell on the bad stuff because I think the good outweighs the bad always in my life. So I'm so excited about that. And I haven't really taking our time to actually look at the backlash. So I think I'm just, just going through the motion of the book launch and basically putting on becoming out there and just hearing stories, real life stories, women sharing with me. My DMs are full. I walk into a supermarket and there's someone who wants to, sort of share their own story with me. So that is fulfilling and that just makes me feel great. Well, Unbecoming is a journey. We as human beings here on earth, we are all traveling, and it's, at the end of the day, the destination is what, afterlife or when you're gone or heaven or hell or whatever it is you think about. But while you're here, we're traveling. It's a journey. You're discovering yourself. And the book is a journey. It's a journey of a girl's, personal growth, personal, just her personal demons as well, and just sort of just going through life on our own terms, learning, falling in love, falling out of love, becoming the woman that I am, which is why, the title is open-ended, because I want people to read Unbecoming and feel it in themselves. So if you look at the cover of the book, it's actually open-ended. So when you finish reading it, whatever registers within you, you can find out what you are becoming. You're becoming stronger, becoming bold, becoming, more determined, becoming more focused, whatever it is. So it's a very interesting book. From what I've heard, it's a page turner. Once you pick it up, you cannot put it down. Apart from the fact that there's a lot of personal stories also shared in there, which at the end of the day, was shared because in order to connect with people, they have to sort of feel where you're coming from. And that was the ultimate goal. So. I mean, it's a journey. I wouldn't say let the world know. When I was writing this book, it did start when I was in a very difficult place. And, it's one thing for you to go to bed one way and you wake up the next day and your life is on the tabloids and, personal information about you is all out there. And I never saw that coming. And it was like I was thrown into the deep blue sea and I had to find my way out. So in those times when, I was trying to basically survive, the word came that I should write a book. I mean, it had come from the beginning, but I wasn't really certain. But then when that happened to me and in all of that, I started to document my days, the days I felt good, I would literally just even do a voice note and say, today was not such a bad day. I smiled today, I did this. And the days that I felt, emotionally down, I let, the emotions take its course. And it's real, it's human. Everyone has bad times and everyone has good times. And if you read the book, everyone can relate with it. It probably takes you back to a certain point in your life. Maybe you've done something, I talked about growing up and things I did as a child as well. So I'm hoping my neighbor doesn't find me in the streets. But yeah, you can read the book and also learn, how I dealt with loss and, just basically going through each day, appreciative of, being here, my rise, my fall, my victory, and my, my loss and everything all in one. So it's Toke on Becoming. Well, I wrote about it in the book. So if you have read the book, you certainly know how I felt. And if you haven't, maybe you should purchase On Becoming and you can find out from the book. But it's never an easy thing to deal with, It's people go through certain things privately. Just because your pain is private doesn't make it any less serious. So I don't like to dwell on the fact that, walk in a room and people look at you because I'm someone that people know. There are people who put on a smile daily, who you work with, who you live with, who are dealing with things that, just maybe if you're a little bit kinder, you just might find out. So, it's never an easy journey. It's never one to be excited about. But as long as you have life and as long as you're hopeful and you're focused and determined, at some point all of the noise would be drowned out and it's only your vision that stands in front of you. My family is very private, actually. So, there was a lot of, oh my God, are you really going to do this to us? And I use every medium to sort of appreciate them as well because, you guys are stuck with me, so there's nothing you can do. But thank you if you guys watch this for being such awesome, tastic people and letting me live my dream and follow me through this journey. So, I wasn't the only person who suffered loss. So my siblings did as well. And, just having to document that and, have them read that as well. We started talking about, no, this is not how it happened. No, that is not how it happened. No, you should have asked me. And, my mom, she's absolutely amazing. She's blessed. To have raised, us like she raised her own, she deserves a standing ovation. Like, she's amazing. So my family is quite private, but we are nutters and we're cool and we're excited and, we go through the motion together. Well, I think the TV found me. I've always been told that as a child, I was that child who never backed down. Even at the launch of Becoming, I remember my brother taking the vote of thanks and says, "They are all not surprised this is my life because she can talk for Africa." I like talking. My dad, bless his soul, he used to say I would become a lawyer. She used to say when I get into trouble, I have a lawyer that would defend me, and then. Yeah, that didn't quite work out, Daddy. So I read English language and, I was in love with lexis and structure. English was my favorite subject. I did the best in school and I love literature. So I used to write a lot as a kid and I would just string words together and I never thought, that I would write a book one day. So I guess it was inborn. I've always been adventurous. I've been rebellious. I've lived. That much I can say. And you can find all of that in the book. Like when you buy On Becoming, you definitely see the journey through my growing years and see how that was like. I said this at the start of the interview, and I'll say this again for anyone who finds themselves, working in this sort of field. You can't take the good alone. It comes with the good and the bad. And the key is to focus on the good and to stay grounded. I feel like that is where my faith comes to play. Like, even my career, I remember attending a church service and the very first sermon I heard before I started my career was, you would hold your peace and I'll fight for you. And I didn't know why the Lord was telling me that. But when all the craziness started, all I'll do is just hold my peace and, He'll do the rest. So it's very important to sort of have a life outside of all of that and have a zone. I would call it a zone where you have your comfort people, you have what keeps your feet on the ground, and you have to stay thankful because, I mean, all of this it's not luck, I don't like to say it's even hard work because there are loads of hardworking people out there who, time and chance haven't happened for. So I feel like it's grace, and I try so much not to take that grace for granted. So, I don't see myself as that famous girl or as a celebrity. I'm just a radio girl, TV girl who wrote a book and who's just discovering life and having fun one step all the way. I wouldn't say taking away from me. It's almost like a catch. Like as I said, you can't pick and choose. Some people believe that, well, this is my work life and this is who I am and my private life is different. And I personally believe that, well, in my journey, they're both intertwined because, my personality is infused into what I do. And, for that reason, a lot of people think they know you or they see what they think is an idea of you, but it really isn't. Do you know what I mean? So nothing has been taken away from me. People speculate a lot, and it comes with the territory, So I don't dwell. I think because I don't dwell on, it's hard to be, I actually don't dwell on all of the negative stuff because, when you sit back and look at how full your plate is and just there's not enough hours in the day just to get done all the things that I want to do. So I really don't have the time to listen to, people crying and saying that. I just keep it moving, really. I mean, I've always been comfortable with myself. We've all made mistakes, and I feel like, your mistakes are part of, it's very easy to focus on your victories and the excellent things about you, but when you sit back and you realize even the not so great things about you actually add to who you are. So, I mean, for me, it's just been growth. I like to see it as, at each point in life, everyone has insecurities. I wished I was taller. I wished, my legs were longer. There are certain things growing up you think, you certainly wanted but did not necessarily have. And as time goes by and life is in phases and stages, you realize that you get comfortable with these things, and those things that you thought mattered so much doesn't really matter anymore. The funny thing is, it's very interesting you ask. I never came out to label myself as a relationship advisor. My vlog is basically talking about things that people talk about. When you see a group of girls hanging out, there's bound to be talk of that guy issue, if you're married, what's going on in your life. So it's, we come from a place where people talk about these things behind closed doors. But when they come out, everyone acts like, we don't talk about these things. So I remember when my vlog started, a friend reached out to me from the States and says, have you heard about someone called, how can I forget her name now? I would remember. She's literally like the fourth most Googled person in the world. She has this amazing YouTube channel. And he said to me, hey, you should watch it because whenever I watch her, I see your personality, and I did. And I thought, okay, I could definitely do this, but then relating it to our own climates and our own environment, what are those things that, people like to talk about and people act like they don't talk about? Relationships, marriage, and, friendships. There's vlogs about friendships, about beg friends and things. It's having a laugh, just being relatable. People can watch the vlog and think, I once had a friend who tried to beg friends of me, or, I once fell in love with a guy who tried to play me. So I never came out to say, hey, and I've never really used the title relationship experts. People sort of just threw that in there, and I guess it's become what it has become. But, just to answer your question, I feel like people who, just because you're going through certain things doesn't mean that you cannot give great advice. People who give the best advice are people who are not even married. You know what I mean? People who, give advice about work sometimes, just because your life is not perfect doesn't mean that, you can't advise people on certain things. You know, you live, you learn, you grow. It could be something you even heard. And you can share that as a pair of wisdom. Look, I heard this. If it works out, it doesn't work out, you know. So it's interesting how people view the vlog. Very entertaining as well, because there are several times that I see certain responses on my YouTube channel, and I'm very blessed and I'm thankful that people feel that open to share their lives with me. I'm becoming. I am becoming. You know, it's been a long time coming, and I like to say this to people. Even when you become, there's room to become more, which is what the book is about. The book doesn't have a finite end. There's no, do you know what I mean? It's a journey, so you never know what happens next, but we're all alive and hopeful, and hoping that, you know, things will definitely, we'll find ourselves in this journey. So I'm on a journey. I'm becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be. I'm working in my, you know, just walking in my purpose, working, realizing that, you know, there's more to life and your experiences are a part of you. So I'm really excited about my journey. It's been bittersweet, but it's most importantly exciting. So if you get the book, you can read all about it, and at least you feel like you know more about Toke Makinwa. It's my gift to a lot of women out there, and men as well, just to sort of, you know, because I feel like we don't talk enough. You know, people, we carry on through life acting like we all have perfect lives, but there's nothing. I mean, if your life is that perfect, why are you still here? You know, we are all trying to become. We're all on a journey, and if the book could register to someone who is going through a funk and who feels like, you know, life is tough right now, just look on the brighter side. In a year, you might be smiling again, and it's your duty to also share with someone around you. So it's all about sharing.